Good night, everyone. Hello, and thank you for joining us in today's meeting. Welcome to How to Create Passive Income Owning No Properties with Airbnb. My name is Mary. I'll be your host for today. And with me, joining me is Jose. He'll be my panelist. Jose, are you there?
I am. Thank you very much, Mary. Hello, everyone. We're happy to have you here. Today is going to be great. So, buckle up. Here we come.
Yes, that's right. Well, before I forget, I want to ask you guys, feel free to type any questions you'd like. We have a Q&A session. We have a Q&A space where you can type your questions, and Jose will be answering them. And also we have a chat. As you can see, Jose is already typing over there. So if you have any comments, feel free to type anything you wish. Of course, you can, by the end of the webinar, you can also let us know what would you like to know about BNB or Bnbvestor for our next webinar. Right now, I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me one sec. And there you go. Please, Jose, can you see my screen?
Completely. Everything is okay.
Okay, perfect. So this is our website. This is Bnbvestor, and we'll be showing you today how, as I said, how to create passive income owning no properties with Airbnb. Since today we're talking with the beautiful LA, we'll be focusing in LA examples, okay? Whenever you log in to Bnbvestor, whenever you log into your account, I'm already in mine, you will be taken here to the overview, okay? Most of you will be working, of course, with the United States, so the system will bring you to the overview of the United States, okay? Now, we can start zooming in and we can start narrowing this by clicking on the area that we want, okay? So I'm gonna go to California, I'm gonna zoom in to LA, and I'll be explaining a little bit what are we looking at on this map, okay? So if I click here on California, it will say California state listings, and we'll have a number here. This is the number of Airbnb listings, okay? The number of BNB listings. Everything we see on this website is based on bed and breakfast, okay? If we're going to talk about regular rentals, I'll let you know, okay? But everything we see here is based on BNBs. So I'm gonna click on go, and this will zoom in the information to the California area. Now we can see it says not only United States, it also says California, and we can see California over here, okay? If you want, you can click on LA, and you can do exactly the same thing, or you can go ahead and click on the search button and type the region, the country, or the address that you want to look for. I prefer clicking on my map and clicking on go, and it refreshes everything, and now it takes me to LA, okay? So we're looking at different things here. I'm going to explain the map a little bit. Again, remember, please, if you have any questions, if I'm going too fast, just type on the chat. Jose will let me know that I'm flying over the information. I'll stop. Okay, if you have any questions, let us know at any moment. Okay, so here we have different colors. I'm zooming in a little bit. We have different colors on our maps. We have dark green, light green, yellow, and red. And this is right now indicating the listings. What do I mean by this? In red, we have all the areas, in this case, all the zip codes that have a low amount of B&B listings. We have in dark green those zip codes that have a high amount of B&B listings. Now, one of the things I want to talk and I want to focus today is not the number of listings. That's a pretty easy thing to understand. How many listings do we have in an area? But I want to talk about something that Bnbvestor offers in particular, and that's the additional revenue. If I click on this drop-down menu here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit first. I want you to pay close attention to the colors on my map. And if I click on the drop-down menu and I select the additional revenue, now the colors may change a little bit. And that's because we're going to be sorting, as you can see, they changed. And that's because we sorted, or we painted, so to speak, the zip codes according to the highest and the lowest additional revenue on the area. Now, what's additional revenue? The additional revenue is how much more I'm going to make on this zip code, on this area, if I invest a specific property as a B&B listing or as a B&B rental instead of a regular rental. We can take a look at that right here on the bottom right. If I place my mouse on top of this question mark, it says revenue. The total monthly income, it does not include taxes or service charges or additional charges. We are considering only, let's say, the basic income, okay? So here we see that if we invest, again, we're talking about Los Angeles. These are numbers based on LA. So if we're talking about regular rentals, we're saying that we can get monthly this amount. Great, so as I was saying, you're going to be able to see where you can invest, let's say, better. If you are interested on investing on B&Bs, you know now that these zip codes that are simulated, that are indicated in dark green are better. Why? Because they have a highest additional revenue. This 52% is going to tell me how much more I'm going to make if I invest in a B&B rental instead of a regular rental. Now, if I see this information here in the map, of course, I have a clear comprehension of how everything looks, let's say in an overview, okay? But maybe you want something more specific. One of the things you can do here on the map as well is turning on this switch that says B&B, and we'll be able to see in a bunch of little dots all the B&Bs that are in the area, okay? But sometimes, as you can see, this might be a little bit too much of information, even though you can turn off the colors on the area. See a little bit too much of information? We can zoom in, of course. If you want, you can even toggle to full screen view and you will have the map in the whole screen. But there's another option that you can use. You can also go to this tab that says places. If I click here, I'll have a specific of all the places in LA. You can search by city, or I'll do this because this is how it's in my map. You can search by zip code. Okay, give it a sec. And as you can see, I have all the zip codes on the area. Now, I have different columns. I have the number of listings on each zip code. I have the occupancy of each zip code. The occupancy is, let's say, the percentage of days that are occupied by this, for this property, okay? So if you have in this zip code properties that are listed for rent for B&B rents for 100 days, you'll know that they'll be rented for 86 days. I have the average daily rate. This is the average that I'll be making on this zip code per day, my revenue and my additional revenue, the percentage I was talking to you about, but this time is divided by percentages. Now, what I want to do is that I want to organize this and I want to sort this descending. If I sort this descending, this will show me the best additional revenues first, and it will continue going down the road, so to speak. So you have a very comprehensive tool that will show you what happens in a specific area, okay? Jose, do we have any questions so far? Is everything crystal clear? I don't mind having questions on the beginning.
At the moment, we do not have questions yet, but no problems. I'm keeping an eye on the chat and the Q&A.
Okay, great. So, if we want to, we can go and make a specific for one of these zip codes. I'm gonna scroll and I'm gonna choose this one. This seems to be a pretty good zip code. We have 147 listings. We have a 98% of additional revenue. So I'm sure I want to invest on this area. If I click on this, again, this takes me back to the overview, but now is the overview of this particular zip code. You will always know where you are because you'll have the specifics up here on the overview. We have the country, we have California, LA, and the specific zip code, okay? Again, the map, and I'll zoom in a little bit. We have two different dots. We have two different figures. We have the red dot, we have the green square. The red dot are the B&Bs, and the green squares, we have the regular rentals, okay? What happens if I click on any of these? Let's see. There we go. We have the specifics for this particular property. So I clicked on one of those randomly, and now I know that this is an entire place, an apartment in Long Beach, 2 bedrooms. I can have six guests, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. This is my price, my occupancy rate. I have all the information, and most importantly, I have the 82%, the additional revenue, okay? One of the tools that we have, okay, that are brand new, actually you're the first group to see about this, is our Deal Finder, okay? So here on Deal Finder for Rent, you're going to be able to see all the properties that are active for rent, regular rent in a specific area. In the interest of time, I went ahead and I already opened my Deal Finder for Rent in the same zip code we were analyzing in Bnbvestor. All I did was clicking on Deal Finder and typing my zip code, my California zip code, okay? And I got all these properties, okay? I have them right here on the map as well. I'm gonna leave it right here, okay? These properties are currently active for rent. I can see a list of the properties, and I'll have a specifics for each of the properties, and I can also have a grid view, okay? If you prefer to have much more of a, let's say, an Excel view, so to speak, okay, if you're more used to this. I prefer the list view because I like to see where the properties are located. If I'm familiar with this neighborhood, so to speak, I prefer to watch it on the map. So I can see all the information about the property. Again, remember, these are regular rentals. And this is a regular rental in Long Beach. This is 1722 Henderson Avenue. This is the first one. And I have my price, my occupancy rate, of course. Since these are regular rentals, the occupancy rate pretty much always is going to be higher than 90%. Usually 90, 95. Well, this one's 85, but it's never going to be a very low regular occupancy, okay? So now, if I go back, sorry, if I go back to my list, one of the things that I can do is click on any of these properties and I can see the specific information. If I click, for example, on this one, this takes me to the specifics of this particular property. Let's take a closer look. Again, we're analyzing a property that is for rent, for regular rent. And what do I want? I want to see if it's best for me as an investor to keep this property as a regular rental, or if it's okay for me to go ahead and try to make a deal to turn this as a B&B, okay? That's the idea. So we have this property. We have 1450 East 8th Street in Long Beach, and the zip code we liked so much. This is a single family home. This is the listing price, the rental listing price, of course. Number of bedrooms, bathrooms, we have here a small contact info, okay? Now, we have here the additional revenue, 117%. So apparently it might be a good idea to turn this from a regular rental to a B&B. We have the average daily rate. We have the occupancy. As I mentioned before, we have an occupancy as a regular rental of 93%, but the B&B rental is 71. That's actually pretty high, okay? And we have the revenue. As a regular, it will be 3,800, and as a B&B, 5,100. So that's the percentage, okay? 117% over. Down here, we are looking at the comparables. These are regular comps, regular for rent, okay? These are properties that are in a 0.5 mile radius and that are either currently for rent or that were for rent in the past 12 months. The idea is to have in this list properties so we can compare if this is fitting, let's say, a reasonable amount, okay? So one of the things I can do is I can click here and I can click on calculate and I have my regular value, okay? This regular value, as you can see, is the same one that I have here, because in order to calculate this, I'm using the 4 comps that I got by default, okay? But let's say that I saw an amount that it's not really fitting the rest. For example, if I look at the listing price, I see that the second is a little bit too high. I don't know why, but it doesn't give me a good feeling. So I'm going to uncheck it. And I can click on calculate again and see how this drops. Okay, so maybe this is giving me a more realistic regular value. So you can see it's pretty much, it's pretty close to the listing price, to the current listing price. Okay, so now I have a better idea of this property as a regular rental. I can go now to the B&B comps. Okay, I have 7 B&B comps. And again, I can click on all of these B&B comps and I can click on calculate and I get my B&B value. Same as here. But again, I want to change this a little bit. Let's uncheck a couple. I want to uncheck, I want to uncheck this one. And I'll uncheck this one, this value. Let's say that this is too high. And I click calculate again, okay? And see how the additional revenue dropped, not that much, 80% is still good, okay? But now this is giving me values closer to, is giving me a more realistic idea. It's not that automatic, because sometimes a comparable that is brought from any data uh, could be not accurate or maybe not updated. So I can remove that information and I can have a more realistic value, okay? If you want to go ahead and take a deeper look on the information of this rental, I can click here on this button that says website, and this opens a new tab where I'll be able to see the rental information, okay? Now remember, this is the information of this property as a regular rental, okay? I can go back to my Dealfinder for Rent, and I can go back, and you can analyze any property you want, okay? I'm going to scroll down. Let's see this one. See, my additional revenue is a little bit lower. Listing price pretty much the same. That's expected since we're in the same zip code, could be the same area, okay? And if I select, again, remember we're in the comparables, regular rentals. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to leave out the lowest of all. I'm going to leave out this one. And I'm going to click on calculate. This dropped, not that much because the difference wasn't that high. And I'm going to go back to my comparables Bnb. I'm going to select them all. There are only 6. And I'll unselect the second one as well. I'm going to click on calculate. Okay. So as you can see, again, now instead of dropping, I got a higher additional revenue. So one of the things that I always recommend is that if you're really interested in analyzing a specific area, go ahead, do the homework, and do your own calculation with this part of our software, okay? This will give you a more realistic value. You can take these numbers and with a good evidence, so to speak, you can say that the best idea is to make a BnB business in the area, okay? One of the other things that we can see here is the overview, and this is giving me the overview of the zip code. This is pretty straightforward. Here we have rental size. This is basically the number of listings that we have on this zip code, okay? According to the number of rooms, okay? So the highest are 3 rooms, remember, on this zip code, and we have 9 listings. We have on this zip code 18 agents, and only 1 is a multi-listing. The other 17 are single listing agents, okay? And we're looking here that all the properties that are on Bnb Rent are single family homes, okay? If I click on places, I'll see Long Beach. That's because we're on this zip code, so you'll see all the information of Long Beach. Again, number of listings, occupancy, average daily rate, and revenue. Any questions so far?
Well, come on. We have Mary. The great thing about having a small group today is that we can actually focus on things that each one of you would like to learn. Carla was saying that the zip code that you picked today actually was hers. Okay, so
Great.
so she was like, okay, this is relevant information for me. This information is the one that I need. And remember, we are here for you to show you how to make money. If you came here today, is because you want to learn how to make passive income and without having to own a property. Okay, what about if you want to get additional properties so you can list it in the Airbnb and make more money. That's what we're trying to show you here. Okay. Remember, the idea is to show you that even though you're not the owner, you can rent the property and then list it on Airbnb and make a lot more. Okay.
Correct.
Um, there are a lot of things that you can do, of course, after you select the property. And we're going to take you through the whole journey of that. Okay. But right now, we want to focus on just don't go to the step 4 or 5 without going without taking the first and the second step, which is analyzing the market, trying to figure out where is the best place to invest your money. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, and we'll love to hear any questions from you, Mary.
Yes. Yes, we can actually, if you want, I'm glad that I selected the right zip code. Now you'll be driving around your neighborhood knowing the kind of neighborhood you live in when it comes to BNBs. And if you want us to look for your specific zip code, we can do so, so you can live with the same information. As Jose said, we have a small group, so we can focus on each zip code if you want. And not only here, we can also go ahead on our main, let's say, website, and we can look for the information here. Here on
Mary,
Bnbvestor, yes?
I'm sorry about it. Wendy actually it has a zip code for us. Okay, it's whenever you're ready, I'll tell you which one it is.
Just tell me, I'll write it down and then I'll type it because I tend to forget.
92677.
92677. Okay. So we're looking for a new zip code, and in order to do that, I'm going to click on search. I'm here on Bnbvestor. I'm going to click on search, and I'm going to go to region, and I'm clicking on 92. You see, I tend to forget 677, and there it is, California, US zip code. And when you look for a specific country, region, or address, you can filter according to the room type of property, number of bedrooms, bathrooms, or a number of guests that you can have in that B&B. I always recommend to leave it on entire place because it gives you more options, okay? So you'll have the bigger picture first, and then you can start narrowing this down. Always go from the bigger picture to the smaller picture. Okay, so now that we had our zip code, I can click on apply. This will refresh everything, okay? See, this is refreshing my overview. The graphic changed a little bit. This changed my active rentals, my ADR, my occupancy, and my revenue. Going, okay, to, I don't need to zoom in. We have a new zip code, we have new info. I can turn off the regulars. These are the B&Bs that you have in your area, okay? All these are entire place. This is Orange County, 92677. And on this specific zip code, we have a 25% revenue, okay? So we can go ahead, and one of the things that we can do, and I'll show you this now with this new zip code, we can go and see the best rentals. This section, this tab of best rentals will let me know what can I do best in this area. Let's say that I have a house and it's a 3-bedroom house. What can I do best? Should I rent the entire place? Should I rent it? Remember, we're talking of B&B rentals, okay? So should I rent the entire place? Should I rent as private rooms? Should I rent as shared rooms? If you ask me, well, you have quite a few good options. You can rent the entire place. You'll get 43% of additional revenue. This is sort, but this is giving me the additional revenue, okay? Okay, you can see the private rooms. I'm looking at a very high number here, so I take this carefully. Maybe there's not enough info about private rooms, and it's giving me this one, okay? Share rooms, not a good idea at all on this zip code, okay? It's giving me 0, okay? But I see pretty decent numbers as in entire places. So now I know that if I get a property and I want to rent it as a B&B, I better rent it as the entire place, okay? That's pretty much a constant here for this zip code. One other thing that you can look at is the host tab. Okay, if we click on the host in the host tab, we'll see all the hosts that this zip code has. This is organized by number of listings. So we'll have up here those who have higher listings. And if I scroll down, you'll see that the last ones have only one listing. So I can go ahead. I have Lisa here and I have all the info that regards to Lisa and Lisa's properties. I have here that she has an additional an average daily rate of $375. That's not bad at all. She has a 34% of occupancy. Remember, one of the things that you have to consider when you see this occupancy, but a decent, pretty decent average daily rate is that maybe Lisa is a seasonal rental. What do I mean with this? Maybe she only opens on high season, okay? So of course, the occupancy is not really high, but when she opens, she's booked, and that's why she has a very high additional average daily rate, okay? If I click on Lisa's, I'll be able to see the listings, okay? And the map takes me to Lisa's listings. I can see them right here, okay? If you want to see even more information, I can click on any of these and the system will open a new tab and I'll be able to look at Lisa's listing directly on Airbnb, okay? So you'll have here all the info on Airbnb. I can always go back to my Bnbvestor. I'm gonna close this one, okay? So that's some of the things that you can do here with Bnbvestor. So one of the things, or the main thing that I want you to take from this webinar is precisely that. You have to analyze, you have to do your homework. One thing that I recommend is to copy the great ones, okay? So we have Lisa, we have Dan, they have 4 listings, they have, for example, here, Dan is a super host. So I wanna copy Dan. Why is Dan a super host? If I click on Dan, I'm gonna be able to see all his information. His occupancy is always over 60%. That's really good. And you can even, let's say, copy his style when he publishes his information on Airbnb. So if you're starting your Airbnb business, copy the great ones. Come here to Bnbvestor, and the first thing you'll need to do is look at your area. If you're in California, go to the place where you want to start your business and see how good of idea is to start there in that place. If we go back to the overview and we see that that particular zip code or that particular city is in red for the additional revenue, then maybe we have to think better options, okay? Maybe we need to rethink, where do I want to invest? I go to orange, and maybe if that zip code it wasn't good, I'll go back to the whole map, the orange map. And I'll click maybe on this area that seems to be a little bit better, just an example. So that's the first thing, doing your homework, analyzing the place. Once you analyze the place, analyze the hosts, okay? That will tell you how to do the job, okay? Read everything. You might also read how this person describes the property, how this person describes the experience of being on that property. That will also help you get better better occupancy, and that will lead you, of course, to better additional revenue and what we'll want, better monthly revenue, okay? One of the things you want to look at also is the seasonality, okay? If I go to seasonality, I'll be able to see when is a good idea to rent as a B, to have my rents as Bnb. Again, we have yellow when the occupancy is not really high. If I stick to the yellows, you'll see that the occupancy is always under the 50s, 46, 42, 44, okay? The dark greens, that's what we're looking for. We have occupancies in dark green of 85, 83, 84, 87. So now we're in October already. We're pretty far from August, but you can start getting ready. You can start your business. November, not a good idea, but you can start getting ready for the holidays. Always good idea to have BNBs on holidays, okay? And Jose, how's my people? Are they falling asleep? Do I have any questions?
That's a great question, actually, because they haven't written anything else yet. So I think that you're great explaining everything, but I would like them to interact with us a little bit more. Tell us if they would like to learn a little bit more about any specific zip code or the city, or which way should we take right now.
I think they fell asleep. Well,
Well,
welcome.
thank you, Wendy. Excuse me. Thank you, Wendy. It's we're glad to be helpful for you. If you want to learn anything else about it, okay, remember the whole idea of the functionality of this one is to give you a view, and a strong view of how the market is right now. What are your choices if you want to rent a property in a regular rental and then put it on Airbnb, and then you have all of these choices. Okay, see how the seasonality works, how much more revenue you can be doing. Okay, remember the additional revenue is the key here. Okay, because it's don't go for the property that you know or whatever is closest to you. Okay, the idea is just try to picture the the whole place. I mean the whole city, and you can actually check for the best places and the best areas for you.
Correct. One of the things that I always enjoy doing, as I mentioned before, was going from the bigger picture to the smaller picture. That's what I'm doing again right now. Um, because sometimes if you don't know, if you're new to this business and you don't have any idea on how the market moves, maybe you're going to be looking at this information here, and maybe you'll see, hey, there are no BNBs here, so maybe LA is not a good place to invest as BNB. And what you weren't doing, what you weren't looking at, is that you have everything down here. Of course, you have LA, you have the heart of everything down here. I like to remove the colors when not necessary because it cleans everything up. So I'm turning them off and I'm closing this, and I'm going to choose another zip code. Maybe I'll get lucky again and I'll choose the zip code from another attendee. Let's see, which one do I like? I'm going to pick this one. I'm liking this one. It's very close. This one. Let's see. 504 listings on this zip code. Not bad at all. This will refresh again everything.
Mary, in the meantime, I would like to make a questions to our crowd. Okay, hey guys, are you currently an Airbnb host? Do you have any property listed right now? Okay, no yet. Kyle, I understand. Okay, so listen, if you're new to the business, okay, that's great having you here because what we want to do is we want you to open the eyes to the possibilities that you have around you. Okay, let's check. We have another questions uh, from Jesus. Please give us a second. Jesus, we're going to complete the idea with the thing that we're talking about. Even that you're new, it doesn't mean that you do not have any tools. Okay, what we're trying to do is this: take advantage of the tools that we're doing, and even more. Remember that we're going to be doing webinars like this one every month. Okay, so for next webinar, make sure to bring someone else with you. Okay, let's make the business grow because right now, remember, sharing economy, the one that where Airbnb is in, is the one that is taking all over the world. Basically, is where the money is, and I know that if you're here, it's because you're looking for that. Now, Mary, I don't know. Before going into the Jesus questions, I don't know if you, excuse me, anything else to add.
No, I would like to hear about the question we have pending.
Okay, Jesus' question is: I would like to know a little bit more about how how did you get the additional revenue? Basically, who wants to learn a little bit more about how the additional revenue is calculated?
Well, this is pretty simple, okay? We have two values here. We're looking at the bottom right, okay? So we're looking at two values. We have the regular rental, okay? This is the revenue, my regular rentals. This is per month, okay? Total income, total monthly income, okay? The regular rental. And we also have the revenue for BNBs. So this is the average that I'm making monthly for BNB rentals on this, in this case, on this zip code 929, okay? So this is calculated this from our databases, okay? This is an average. This is an average as well. This we got from Airbnb. And then we calculate the percentage, okay? If the number is in green, and I actually thank you very much because I was forgetting about this. If the number is in green, it's because the BNB revenue, the additional revenue, is higher than the regular revenue. Sometimes you'll see that this little number here is in red. That's because the BNB additional revenue is lower than the regular, okay? So pay attention to the number, pay attention to the color. That's how it's calculated. Do you have any further questions, maybe? Any of you guys?
Well, I don't know if you want to add something else because we have Kyle asking us, how do we get started with this?
Well, I'm going to, right now I'm logging in, of course, to my account. I'm going to log out because one of the things that I wanted to say, and with this, I think we'll be finishing up, wrapping up. You can go ahead and look for bnbvestor.com. If you look for bnbvestor.com, you will be able to see part of the system, okay? You'll be able to see the overview, you'll be able to see um, some of the information for the regular rentals for the specific area you're talking about. Okay, and if you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and click here where it says unlock. This will take you to the plans and the pricing information. Okay, here you have the pricing. If you want to ask any more questions, or if you want a private one-on-one demonstration of the software where you can ask the questions related to the area that you're interested, you can go ahead and click here on this chat button. We're going to be here from Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so you can go ahead and contact us through here, through the chat. Of course, you can also give us a call, or you can also send us an email to info@bnbvestor.com. You can request for the video where we explain a little bit more about the software. We can gladly send it out for you. And we can also send the pricing information, okay? I'll repeat, the email address is info@bnbvestor.com. Jose, if you're so kind of typing that, just in case. And the phone number, if you're more phone call type of person, you can call us to the 888-349-5368. I repeat, 888-349-5368. That's our toll-free number. We'll gladly assist you and we'll help you subscribe, or we'll help you answer any questions you might have, okay? And of course, you can also follow us in our social media. Jose?
It's easy. It's at Bnbvestor in any platform. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Okay, remember, all of the information is already written in the chat, 888-349-5368, bnbvestor@gmail.com, or info@bnbvestor.com.
Great. Thank you very much, Jose. And of course, thank you very much, guys, for joining us tonight. It's been my greatest pleasure to be with you. Please feel free to contact us tomorrow if you want to. We'll be there waiting for you. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great now. This is a wrap up. Bye-bye.